Alright, welcome back to Shan Gui, Sweet Osmanthus. We are still in the cafe and there is an unknown man and he talks to us, so let's see what he has to say. Oh, Hijia is here.
在看鱼。
A new customer?
嘿嘿，我带来的哦。
Am I anything worth showing off? I pondered this as I continued looking at the man. He was not well dressed and carried a magazine in his hand. Was he also a customer? He showed familiarity with Jia. Perhaps he works here. How do you feel about this little world? The man spoke before I could solve the mystery of why he was here.
很美，无法形容了。
Aha! The old man would be pleased to hear that.
谁？
The architect who designed this tea house.
一定是个很厉害的设计师吧？
The man smiled intently. He's probably the architect. Well, I should say, some people devote their entire life to finishing just one or two masterworks.
这怎么说？
The architect spent most of his life designing houses for others. He loved his work, was serious and diligent. However, most of these constructions were far from perfectly completed.
这是为什么？
A perfect design requires a greater time investment. People in this country care much about efficiency.
这也是常情吗？
I don't want to start a philosophical fight with you, so let's just go on. So the architect lived his life filled with regret at never being able to truly complete his work. The resulting emotional and physical stress took its toll.
那这里是他最完美的设计吗？
Well, it looks nice. The man shook his head. Not exactly. Perfect exists merely as a concept. It isn't a real thing. However, this is the work that had consumed nearly all of his best effort. There is something special here that cannot be seen in his other works.
那是什么？
The man grinned. It's love, I knew it. I would have guessed hard, but love is also cool.
爱。
I couldn't keep up with his words.
店长又来了，每次都这么说。
Well, I like him already, he's cool. It's true, enjoy yourself. I'm at your service if you need a refill. The man nodded and began walking away. There's a message from the architect on that plaque over there. Or plaque. I don't know. Take a look if you wish. It's highly informative. With a second nod, he entered the tea house.
居然是店长，不可思议的店长啊！某种意义上说，这家店从里到外都挺不可思议的呢。所以我很喜欢，特别是雨天的时候。
Yeah, I would go there too.
很安心，有种被怀抱着的感觉。姐姐，其实我一直就想问了，姐姐是不是遇到了什么难事？
Gia found me out. This was inevitable. There was no need to hide.
难事啊，虽然都是平常事情，却真的太难了。其实，
Oh,
前段时间父亲去世了。原来是这样啊。
Gia remained speechless as she sympathetically clutched my hands.
生病，从生病到最后，我一直都没有哭过。我也不知道为什么，家里人都说我懂事，可是我自己知道不对。明明心里难受，但是却不知道哪里难受。和老爸的关系一直很微妙，对我做的事情，他总是不满意。从小时候开始就是那样。冷战了10年，好不容易有了点起色，却是这个结果。
姐姐不喜欢他吗？
我不知道。来参加葬礼的叔叔阿姨们，有的哭得泣不成声，拉着我的手直叹气，安慰我，叫我想开。直到这时候，我才发现自己对他有多么的陌生。和我在一起的时候，他好像不是这样的。事实上，他的为人，他的工作，他的朋友，一切的一切都那么陌生。饭局上，那些叔叔阿姨们一刻不停地回忆着父亲对待工作是多么的负责，有时候到固执的地步；对待朋友是多么的仗义，在家族里的大小事务是多么的用心，对大事有多么的富有正义感。我才发现自己憧憬、自己赞赏的那些品质，父亲全都具备。我彻底糊涂了。明明每天都见，明明没有停动过争吵的这个人，其实我一点都不了解。
Yeah, that's really sad.
到底是哪里错了？到底是谁错了？怎么想都得不到答案。
原来是这样，所以
唉，
姐姐跑到这里来了啊。
是啊，总觉得回到这里，也许能明白些什么。不，也许只是想找到能让我稍稍安心的地方吧。哎，怎么？
That was a really sad backstory. No, it's strange. Some people seem like they are the best people in the world and they are shitty parents.
我很笨，不会安慰人。姐姐痛苦，姐姐的难处，我一点都不知道该怎么办。姐姐喜欢自己的父亲吗？
我也不知道。这个问题也许根本没有答案。
She shook her head.
答案一定会有的，也许只是还没到时候而已。现在就这样一会儿，好吗
Okay. I don't think there's always an answer, but let's go on. Gia's body effused strong, fragrant bursts of sweet osmanthus. It was pleasing. I began to relax. Yeah.
还说不会安慰人。
I was a little bit embarrassed about relying on the emotional support of a girl so much younger than myself.
总是稀碎。
The words I had held in my mind came out of me at last. I felt better. The rain began to subside, and time continued to march on by. I stood up with the intention of leaving. The plaque mentioned by the manager suddenly came to my mind. I walked over to it, because I don't know how to say it, in the corner and began to read.
这是
Flowing time. Designer Han Jun. I was shocked. I then rushed into the tea house. Is that her father? Oh, why? Welcome back. How was everything?
很愉快的时光。店长，我想问一下，这里的设计师是？
Oh, so Han is a family name. Wasn't there a Chinese emperor family who had the same name? It's probably maybe like Smith or something like that. A very common name. My old friend, co-worker, and your father, right?
果然，店长早就知道吗？
Yes, we have met several times when you were young, but you probably can't remember. I recognized you at first sight.
原来是这样。
I'm sorry for my absence at his funeral. I feel a bit better having seen you today.
哦，没事的，请不要在意。其实父亲一辈子就怕麻烦别人。
Yes, I suppose you are right.
那个，我能问一问吗？在叔叔眼中，我的父亲到底是一个什么样的人呢？
The man was taken aback by my question. He paused to contemplate his answer. Well, I should say, he was stubborn and inflexible, downright boorish at times. He was not particularly good at speaking to, or even getting along with
这
others.
是准确的描述啊。
Oh well, it did require some added skill to talk with him. It's quite amazing I got along with him so well for so many years.
同感。
However, he was always there when I needed him. You could really be yourself around him.
原来是这样。
Of course, the most important thing, something known to all of us. He loved you more than anyone else. Is that the same from your viewpoint? Probably not.
是一模一样的。
That's a lie, but what else should you say to a stranger? After the rain showers passed, the air had become crisp and fresh. The manager led us to the gate of the tea house. Come back any time. It was sort of designed with you in mind anyway. He wanted you to come here with him when you were old enough. Your family had many picnics here when you were a child, right?
是啊，我也想再和他好好聊聊呢。
You would be pleased to hear that. Gia, please see her off.
店长放心好了，那我们走吧，时间不早了。
是啊。
I gazed up on the front of the building one more
那
time.
再见了。
Goodbye. You're always welcome here. The trees of the forest were still dripping wet. Everything appeared to glisten. The path had become muddy and was now quite difficult to walk upon. However, this provided its own sort of strange enjoyment. It was time to say farewell. Even though I had only just met Heijia earlier in the day, I felt the sorrow one feels when leaving an old cherished friend. Heijia held her skirt as she skipped along, leading the way. Occasionally she would turn back and wave to me. I followed behind slowly, and felt a great reluctance to say goodbye.
时间不早了呢。
是呢。
I told her I would move faster, but my legs seemed to disregard this command entirely. As we passed the abandoned pond, I noticed that I still cared. The feeling remained.
姐姐，那个
Gia appeared to have something to say.
可能有些突然，但是姐姐，我们再去一下那个荷塘吧。
She always knows what the protagonist wants.
那里已经什么都没有
I
了。
have to remember that name. Hui. So Hui is probably her first name. Her given name.
虽然有些难以说出口，不过，总之，
怎么了？
Gia suddenly took my hands and dragged me forward.
跟我来。好美。
I think this is drawn or something. Maybe it was a photo and they changed it. I don't know. I would be so interested, but it's looking so beautiful, really, so beautiful. After we made our way through the woods, we suddenly came upon a gorgeous autumnal lotus pond. It had been lifeless moments ago, but the scene that lay before me was directly ripped from my memory.
这是在做梦吗？
Yeah, probably. The clear water, lotus blossoms, camellias that crowded around the trees, and the stone bridge leading over the pond. It was overwhelming. Well, I don't think this works like a few hours later and it is really nice. Well, I don't
太
know.
不可思议了！刚刚明明
呀，大概是山神大人给姐姐的礼物吧。
Or maybe you're in a
山
coma.
神的礼物。
I'm a horrible person.
是吗？听你这么一说，总觉得也许是真的呢。
姐姐，快来！
啊，等一下。
Gia ran to the side and squatted down. She stuck her hands in the water.
好轻，
Gia took off her shoes, got a running start, and then leapt into the pond, creating a giant splash.
别闹！
没事，看很浅，而且凉凉的，好舒服。
The water level was just above her knees. Gia held her skirt and twirled about.
怎么了？
Gia slipped and fell. She was now sitting in the water.
失误，失误。
真是的，你看，裙子都湿透了。
嘿嘿，回家要被骂了。干脆，
哎，
Gia removed her skirt, revealing her underwear. She now stood partially clothed in the pond before me.
不行，这样子要是被人看到的话，
没关系的，不会有人的。因为这里是只属于我和姐姐的地方。
就算你这么说，
姐姐也来嘛。
Gia splashed me playfully.
说是的，又不是小孩子了。
嘿嘿，我就是小孩子嘛。
It seems that way. You are behaving like a 5-year-old, really. Inspired by Gia's boldness, I took off my shoes and walked towards the pond. The pond really wasn't that deep. The bottom was covered by a layer of colorful stones, which looked positively radiant, glinting in the sunlight. And a little bit fan service.
呀，
Gia proceeded to splash me.
嘿嘿，姐姐发呆呢。
啊，真是的。嘿，
Well, I have to say, the voice of Shan Gui seems a little bit unmotivated. She seems not that motivated sometimes. Especially, I like her. I think she's good at the sad moments, but you know, moments like this, she sounds like, you know, oh, I don't care. Anyway, payback. Gia turned and dodged the water.
呀，嘿嘿，没中。
啊，哪里跑？
I hadn't played like this for a long time. We were laying on a stone, looking up at the sky, now bathed in the glow of the sunset. Gia struck the water with her feet, making a clear splashing sound.
嘟嘟噔滴噔啦嘟滴，嘟嘟滴哒嘟，哒滴噔哒滴哒嘟滴，嘟嘟滴哒嘟，哒滴嘟滴哒哒哒。哒滴嘟滴哒嘟嘟嘟嘟嘟嘟，滴嘟咚滴咚啦嘟滴，嘟嘟滴哒嘟。
Still not la la la, by the way. The artwork. Look at the background. It's so cool.
很美的歌声呢。
嘿嘿，有点不好意思，第一次在别人面前唱歌呢。
Judging from the few moments I knew you and you're already halfway naked, I don't believe you that you are shy.
又得到一样好东西了呢。和你一起，总是能发现美丽的东西。
Well, that's kinda true. You are a cheerful kid. The sunset highlighted Gia's reddening face. As I looked upon Gia in the light of sunset, I knew I wanted this moment to last forever.
本来时间早就到了呢，不过真的很想唱给姐姐听。
时间。
已经是该回去的时间了。我也是，姐姐也是。
不能一起再待一会儿吗？
Gia shook her head.
不是说没有不散的宴席吗？
是啊，就算再美好的时光，最终还是会结束啊。
没关系的。
贺家，
不管以后姐姐在哪里，遇到什么事情，会发生什么，难过的时候，请一定到这里来。
Is this already the end?
还有这座山，一定会一直等着你的。当然。
Shall we meet again?
当然。
You will guide me?
包在我身上。
The tickets.
交给我好啦。
Will you sing for me again?
果然还是有点不好意思。如果姐姐请我吃三明治的话，一定。
Next time you should add less sugar in your sweet Osmanthus
嘿
tea.
嘿，这个嘛，考虑一下吧。
As twilight approached, a golden radiance reflected from the water, and gently surrounded us. I felt a sense of inner peace as the ever-dimming rays warmed my heart. Gia lowered her head and lightly kissed me on the cheek. A feeling of serenity immanted throughout my body. The world began to melt. I almost felt groggy. Gia's figure slowly faded away with golden glow. I could barely hear her words.
再见，一定再见。
I opened my eyes to find myself laying in the pavilion on top of the mountain. The radiance of sunset entered the pavilion, casting a long shadow. I rubbed my eyes and stood up. The air was much cooler. Looking outside, I ascertained it had rained not long ago. A gentle breeze brushed by my face.
桂花香。
I looked off into the distance and stroked my hair, which had become mused by the wind.
似乎做了个梦啊。
Despite this, I felt I had gained a great deal of spiritual wisdom.
那么出发吧。
I took my bag and made my way home. I was at ease.
喂，你好，
It's me,
晨晨啊。
just Shang. I've told you many times not to call me that.
下次小心就是了。
Oh, you.
那晨晨有什么事情吗？
Now you're just saying that on
是
purpose.
的。
I've got some great news for you, and this is how you treat me?
啊，我错了，我错了。什么好事？
Well, I found the information that you asked for.
真的？
Of course, who do you think I am?
晨晨，
This is an ultimatum. If you call me Little Shang again, I will totally hang up.
嗯。
Then let's begin. Well, the first set of information you gave me, that is short black hair, worn in a side braid, and a description of some dress, was completely useless. The additional information about living in the mountains, making sweet Osmanthus tea, or whatever was positively unbelievable.
对对对。
All of this is nonsense. Are you kidding me?
相信你一定有办法的。
Fine, the information was not totally useless. I remembered. I knew someone.
熟人？
Maybe I didn't phrase that right.
怎么说？
The girl you've met is the master of the mountain's third daughter. Her name is Gia.
山主。
Right, and actually, she's a purple fox. I know she's a spirit. Are you deaf? Simply put, she is immortal. Do you understand?
真的假的？
Maybe. Who cares?
Wait.
It was just a joke. You should know me better. I've been this way my whole life.
还真是，既然是船上说的，那就八九不离十了。不过突然说是神仙，还是三女。
Maybe more like a spirit, but a fairy, but okay. Yeah, she has 2 elder sisters and a younger one.
好厉害。
You wouldn't worry about it. These immortals aren't very different to us. They must also eat and sleep. Their feelings are the same. Siblings often quarrel.
稍微放心一点了呢。
Ah, so he's the brother, okay. Then, what do you think about her?
大家
Yes.
总觉得多了个妹妹，一起的时候不知不觉的会很安心。
That's good. I'm sure she feels the same way. You are fated to see each other again. If you want to see her, go back to the mountain.
真的，
How would you know? But okay. Yeah, but to meet an immortal, you have to bring some sort of offering.
贡品，那是什么？
I wouldn't know. Did you promise her anything?
哦，原来是这样。我知道该怎么办了。
Sandwich. Say hello for me.
一定。
After hanging up the phone, I could feel the excitement swell within my heart. It was not an illusion. She was not some midsummer night's dream. Ah, well.
得稍稍去准备一下了。
Bread, ham, and what else? I want to bring Gia my homemade sandwiches and share that good feeling with her again. It's autumn. I think the sweet Osmanthus will smell particularly sweet this year. Oh, that's it. Wow. Well, shorter than I expected. But, it was sweet, definitely. Sweet story. And I love the art style, really. Look at the backgrounds. Look at them. I love them. And the character design is a bit strange, I already mentioned that, but although I like the character design of Hygeia, with the little fox teeth and stuff, but yeah, the art is really cool. I think it was a bit anticlimactic, yeah, because, you know, we just learned about the problem with the father, and then we heard that he was a good man, but he still can be a shitty father, and she knows that herself. And you know, the fox spirit said her she will find the answer, but she didn't find it. Maybe the answer is that you can't find the answer, I don't know. Well, we thank you for this wonderful piece of art, and I liked the story, even though, of course, it was a bit too short, I think. A bit too short. But I enjoyed it anyway. Ah, there she is in another costume. Fun. Alright. And that was a sweet story. As already mentioned, I think it was too short. The problems with the father aren't really solved, but at least Han Hui's feels are at ease now, and she feels better, and she found a friend who is a spirit, but you know, who cares? And I think that's the most important thing. So, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you like it, I'll probably play more visual novels. I'm playing Katawa Shoujo right now. So if you are interested, go watch it. And, well, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.